Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to today's training. I've just realized I'm 2 minutes early, but it's okay. I'll just wait for people to join me a little bit. So, what is happening in today's training? We are going to learn 3 potent, incredibly effective body weight exercises to strengthen the legs, which includes the hips as well. Okay, so anything from waist down. Now, why should you be concerned about strengthening your legs? A, for daily activities. Okay, we all have to sit down, we all have to walk places, we all have to go up and down stairs. Most of us will need to get in and out of a car easily, and the list goes on and on and on. So for just simple daily tasks, and also for your favorite sport. So you might be enjoying walking, maybe you're running, maybe you're doing, I don't know, any sport. Like I do surfing, and I need strong legs, right? I need to be able to pop up on a surfboard. I need mobility, and I need strength. So strong legs are quite crucial. And we as women have an advantage because generally we are stronger in the legs. Men tend to be stronger in the upper body. So we have a slight advantage there already. But that doesn't mean that we should just be resting on our laurels and not do anything, okay? So if you're joining me live, let me know why you are joining today's training and what made you join. Why do you want a stronger legs and hips, okay? If you're watching on the replay, please just let me know anyway. So I'm going to teach you 3 exercises that I really like and then I coach. I'm going to definitely teach you the bodyweight version, but I'm going to show you how you can take the exercise further and load it with some weight, whatever you might be having at home, okay? I know that since lockdown, since the COVID pandemic, a lot of people now tend to have a little bit of equipment at home. Most people do, like dumbbells or medicine balls, kettlebells. These equipments are quite cheap, they're affordable, but offer a really nice kind of extension on just body weight movements and on mobility movements as well, okay? So obviously don't skip mobility in the legs either, okay? I'm not going to run through mobility because I have coached hip and leg mobility over and over and over. So just go back to the 6-day free challenge or anywhere where I warmed up the body. I'm not going to go to mobility. We're just going to do body weight work, okay? So what's really important to think about in your lower body exercise routine is, are you doing any exercises that load the legs separately? So one-legged work, okay? Because when we're doing just squats and we're doing deadlifts, we are loading both legs. And if you have any strength or mobility imbalance, one leg will compensate for the other and you won't even notice. As soon as you start doing either and one-legged work where you're loading one leg more than the other, could be a lunge as well. But obviously, pistol squats or one-legged squats, okay? I like to incorporate these routines into my exercise regime, but also into my clients. So think about, are you incorporating any movements into your routine that singularly load one leg and the other? This is important for balance as well, because when you think about walking and running, there's always a little bit of time where you're only on one leg. Especially noticeable with runners, but with walkers as well, okay? Because you're lifting one leg up and then you're putting the other down, then you're lifting, putting the other down, okay? So you are essentially relying on just one leg, one ankle, one knee, one hip to hold your whole body weight and also to be propelling you forward. So make sure that you include a little bit of single-legged work into your routine, okay? So today we're going to start gently with the lunge, and that is the first movement that I'm going to coach today. It's not a real pistol squat, which I might be coaching some other time, but it's a really good start because people find in lunges where their weaknesses are, whether it's in the knee stability, whether they are wobbly in the ankle, or whether they're just not strong enough to support the lunge, okay? So I'm going to teach you how to do lunge because I know that a lot of people complain about the lunges because they're too hard. Yeah, they are hard, but they are really effective. Also, a lot of people get pain in the knees when they're doing lunges, okay? So we're going to fix that today. So the way you do a lunge, I'm just going to sort out my, is, what's really important is to start wide and finish wide, okay? What I see people doing over and over is that they go really narrow. It's really hard to keep your balance when you're super narrow, especially when you grab some equipment and load it as well. So make sure that you start with your feet hip width apart, and when you're lunging, you finish hip width apart. If you've got a mat, it's easy because you can kind of gauge the distance. If not, just remember, imagine you've got like tracks that they're kind of like going and you've got your feet on them, and then you're landing your feet on them all the time, okay? If you're not very familiar with lunges or you are doing them in a different way than I do, start with a split lunge, okay, or the stationary lunge. So you're going to kind of gauge where you're going to gauge the distance, okay? From here, I want you to keep your body from your hips, your upper body, completely perpendicular to the ground. There's going to be no forward motion. Where a lot of people go wrong with lunges, they think it's a forward motion, and so they're doing this. I'm exaggerating, but I have seen this, yeah? So they are loading, they are putting a lot of weight and loading on the front leg, specifically on the front knee. That's why you get sore knees. A lot of people also go in with the knee as they're lunging, okay? So they clearly don't have any stability or something's really tight in the inner thigh. Where I want you to have your upper body is completely straight. So you're going straight down. A really nice analogy is imagine you sliding up and down a wall, or get out of your head the notion that lunge is a forward motion and think of it as a knee drop. So think about the back knee, you're dropping it straight down. What you're also trying to achieve with your leg is a perfect 90-90 angle, okay? That's where a lot of people get either here because maybe they don't have enough ankle mobility, or they go here where they're really loading the front knee, okay? So 90-90 angle, engage the posterior chain, your glutes and your hamstring, particularly the glutes. Leave the knee alone. The quad is helping, but it's not the main primary mover on the lunge. The glutes are, okay? So that's why people destroy their quads in lunges, because of this, yeah? Keep the weight back, yeah? So just try a few stationary, see what it feels like, see if you can manage. You don't want knee going in, you don't want any wobble in the knee, you don't want wobble in the back ankle, back foot either, okay? You'll be nice and stable, tighten your abs, compress the shoulder blades down, and just go up and down, okay? Once you become quite familiar here, then start doing the moving lunges. But everything is the same. I'm keeping the weight back. I'm not going into this. I'm keeping the weight back. See the difference between this and this? Yeah? Completely different. All right? So front lunge. So I'm going in, I'm going from the easiest to the hardest. I'm going to teach you like 4 or 5 different progressions of the lunge today, okay? So first we had, what did here? Also a complete regression of the lunge is a squat. So if you're not even ready to do a stationary lunge here, then practice your squats, okay? That is the complete regression of the lunge. Then you go into your stationary lunges, where you're kind of feeling whether you have the technique right, whether you have any wobble in the knee, do you have to work on the ankle mobility, and then you start doing your moving lunges, yeah? Forward lunge is the easiest lunge. When you've got that down and you want to take it a bit further, you go back. So you go into reverse lunges, you're essentially landing in exactly the same pattern. Yeah. So you still have your legs 90 degrees, but now you're going backwards, which is harder because you can't see where your foot is landing. Okay. So that is the lunge. I'm going to teach you a little lower back routine once we go through all of the movements. And then we're going to combine them into like a little combo, okay? Because when you're doing exercises together, the loading is a lot greater to when you're doing them separately. The second movement I'm going to do, if you have any questions, just put them in there. Let me know who is joining me. We're going to do a loaded shin box switch. So if you've been in my world for a little while, you know that I love shin boxes and shin box extensions, yeah? So shin box extension. I use the shin box extension to determine how tight or how weak your hips are. If you can't comfortably do this, you really need to start working on your hips, okay? That means that you are tight. It means that you have no strength in the hips. This puts you at a greater risk of hip fractures as you are aging. Not a good thing, okay? If you break a hip, it's essentially the beginning of the end. The outcomes are just horrendous, okay? So this is a really good test at where your hips are at. If you can't do this easily on both sides, obviously you can kind of rock into it and build up to it. Do it every day. Make it your goal that you're going to be doing hip extensions with ease. I cannot express how crucial this exercise is, okay? If you really need to, then you push yourself off with your hand as well. But know that you have some serious limitations in the strength of your hips, okay? And when you think about your hips, I want you to think about it as the engine of the body. The hips are really an integral part of any human movement, okay? So you need strength and you need good mobility in here. From tight, weak hips, a lot of issues will spread into your body, into your lower back, upper back, and then going down into your knees and your feet as well, okay? So first, you can just practice the movement body weight. See how easy it is. Obviously, the speed is entirely up to you. But what's really nice is to load this movement. So you're going to be holding something in your hands, whatever you have at home. It could be a big rock, okay? You don't have to go and buy yourself fitness equipment. Find yourself a rock somewhere on the beach or anywhere, a brick, something that is just a little bit heavy, okay? I'm going to demonstrate it with a kettlebell, but you can also hold a dumbbell in your hand or anything that you have. 2 water bottles filled with water, okay? It's enough. Just be creative. Find something. Some massive encyclopedia you have at home from the age when we were actually still reading books. All right. So it's important that you're going to really tighten the glutes, tighten the abs, and your elbows are by your sides. Yeah, glute the ribs. It obviously gets trickier. Yeah, but now you are building strength and mobility under strength, under load in your hips. This is literally one of my favorites, and it's incredible how many people really struggle with this exercise, okay? So this is really good. It seems simple, but it's super potent and super effective, okay? So this exercise number 2 obviously can still be performed body weight, but loaded, it takes it to a whole new level, okay? Any questions? Let me know. Very good. All right. Third exercise is the lateral lunge. I'm pretty sure that's what I had. Yes. Okay. Lateral lunges is just like a little, again, you're going to be separating the legs. So if you can't quite do pistol squats, not quite there yet, lateral lunges are fantastic to, again, just load the legs separately, okay? So how do you go about the lateral lunges? Well, first, we again going to start at a really simple version, okay? So feet are quite wide. Now, it is entirely up to you if you want to have your feet facing forward or feet facing slightly out. I personally prefer my feet to be straight, but if you want to put them out, that is totally okay as well. From here, and don't go like really, really super wide, but I'll show you how you're going to measure yourself up whether you are at the right place, is when you are going to go into that bend, and let me explain this bend. Again, just like with the lunges, you're not going to do this. Again, tragically loading the knee, okay? Where you're going to go, you're going to go back. So you're going to go almost into this little like a mini hip hinge, okay? Where you are really sticking the glutes out, but the knees are not being loaded forward, okay? So let's go through it here. And, yeah, so really go back. See, I'm not loading it forward. I am popping my hips back. I'm bending at the knees, and I'm slightly folding forward, okay? Now I really intensely, again, feel the glute. I'm not loading the core. The core is helping, but it's not the main mover. And I'm definitely leaving the knee out of the equation here, okay? So this is where you want to be. Now, your hip bone, which is here at the front of your hip, needs to be above your heel. If it's not above the heel, you're too far out, okay? So reduce, come a little bit in, because that's where you want to be. You want to stand up and then go the other side, okay? Making sure that you are sinking back and not going forward on top of that knee. Lateral lunges are fantastic. It's again, you know, you will notice that you're loading, you know, because there's not that much weight on that foot. There's a little bit supporting you, but a lot of it is on this one. So you are building stability and strength around your joints and obviously in the muscles as well, okay? So just try a few with me, just the stationary ones, yeah? If I show you from side on, I'm going back, yeah? Again, you can load it after a while if you want, just hold something in your hand, whatever that is, a small child, a grandchild, some weights, a couple of water bottles, anything that's good for you. If you feel comfortable here, then obviously you can start doing moving lateral lunges, okay? So these are the three exercises that I use in my clients' fitness routines over and over and over again, okay? So I'm going to teach you just a little combo made up of all of these movements, not the shin box switch, okay, but the lunges and the lateral lunges. So where you can go lateral lunge, front lunge, rear lunge. Let's go the other side. Lateral lunge, front lunge, rear lunge. Okay, so see how you can kind of cleverly combine these movements into just one little routine, which will get your heart rate up and make your legs super, super strong. If you're super comfortable here and you want to take it a notch up, then obviously you just load it. Yeah, so hold something in your hands, whatever you have at home, and then you're loading the movement. Yeah, so again, putting extra load onto your muscles and joints and connective tissue. Make sure that your form doesn't suffer, okay? Make sure that your form can still hold and be perfect even with the loading, okay? So here you have it. Here are, I probably taught you about at least 6 different movements for the lower body. I cannot stress enough how important it is to have strong legs, because 1 in every 3 women will have a fracture after the age of 50, okay? And most of them are due to a fall. So women trip, fall over, most frequently will put the wrist down, the hand down, and break a wrist, okay? I talked to another client just 2 days ago about, she did the same, fell and then broke a wrist. Now she has a couple of titanium plates in her wrist, okay? That is like the first thing. when people do kind of in their 50s, as they become later, they will break either the pelvis or the hip. Those are the three most common sites for fractures. Wrist is still okay. Once you break a hip or obviously pelvis, it's bad. It's really bad. So having a really good balance and a really good strength in your legs, it's crucial because you might not trip. So when you maybe hit a pothole or a slight deviation in a surface, you're not going to crumble and fall. Obviously, sometimes falls happen, but you can do a lot to prevent them, okay? If you're an active person, you are a runner, obviously super important to have strong legs, because you're not just going to build the legs strong while you're running as you are fatiguing. You need to do some strength training to support your running. Surfing, mountain biking, obviously martial arts, any kind of training that you are doing, is important that your legs, but specifically your joints, are super strong. Okay, so let me know if you're going to try any of these movements, and I will see you next week for some more awesome training. Have a beautiful day. Ka kite ana. Bye.